Hi, my name is Rory, and today I'm going to give you an inside look of what it took to create our green screen production, What Will You Create? The goal of this video was to promote the studio. We recently moved to Midtown Phoenix, and we wanted to showcase the capabilities of our green screen studio. The concept was to shoot a scene from a movie and reveal the behind the scenes, how it was being shot, what it takes to really create a project like this. We decided that we wanted to create a hero scene, an action scene. We took the idea of John Wick and we also took an idea of Daredevil. We kind of blended those two together to create a heroic moment, right? We worked with Ben Edwards, he was our actor. Eric Anderson was our director of photography, and Susie Moore was our makeup artist. So what did it take to create this video? Well, we did a lot of pre-production. We worked internally to figure out what it needed to take to create a scene like this. And we went into post, we started creating these 3D elements, started creating the roof, we started creating the backgrounds, the city. Once we had all of that, it was time for us to test the subject, time to test the lighting in our studio. So we knew that it was going to be a night scene. We knew what kind of colors to use. We wanted to use a lot of reds, we wanted to use a lot of blues. Again, we wanted to use a lot of more of these superhero colors, right? The action scene colors. But we wanted to make sure also that the green screen was properly lit. At the same time, we needed to make sure that we had the right tracking points in order to make this camera moving, because we were moving the camera back to reveal the environment, right, where it was being shot. So once all that planning was done, it was time to shoot the video. We had already done a lot of the pre-production, like I said before. We had storyboarded this ahead of time. So once we got into production, both Eric and I worked closely, and all we had to do was figure out what kind of lenses we were going to be using, how that movement was going to be incorporated into the video, and some of the cutaway shots that were going to be important in order to tell the story. We did some test shots ahead of time with the actor before he got his makeup done, and this really allowed us to kind of get an idea of what we were facing during production in order to alleviate some of the issues ahead of time. With Ben, we needed to make sure we got the right emotion across. You know, he had just been in a war and he was waiting for that final villain to approach him. So we needed to make sure that his emotion really told that story. With Susie, we worked with her in incorporating some of that look that we kind of got from John Wick, right? He had just, again, been through a war. He had just been through a fight scene. And we wanted to make sure that the character really portrayed that. And the overall look at the end, right, revealing the studio, showcasing the final piece, showcasing the environment, making sure that every actor there knew what they were doing. It really kind of played the idea of like a buzzing live video production. So once we were done with the production, it was then time to take all that information, all that data, all that footage, and incorporate the best takes into a final piece. We knew that we needed to get a proper key, and like I mentioned earlier, that had to be done ahead of time with the proper planning, the lighting in pre-production that we did, the proper lighting that we did in production, and then finally, once we had all that information done, we were able to key our actor properly. We had a total of 4 takes, 4 scenes, right? The close-up of the actor's face, the extreme close-ups of the guns, and then the final scene, which is the reveal of the environment. All those were done in After Effects, using Keylight, of course, but we had to make sure we color corrected first and color enhanced properly ahead of time in order to extract that key a lot better. Some of the camera movements were difficult to track in After Effects using the tracking data. What we did was we used a warp stabilizer in order to minimize some of that movement, that excessive movement that we had in the live video. And once we did that, the tracking data the tracking points were a lot easier to track. Once we had that tracking data, we were able to incorporate that tracking data into the background, and that background was able to move smoother and incorporate really well with the actual live video production. So once our 3D background and our live footage came together, it was time to reveal the studio. Our 3D elements were all in individual layers, so we were able to just move those out in Z space. And the roof itself was also in 3D, which we just ended up fading out and ultimately revealing the actual studio. If you want to check out the video, you can find it at newanglemedia.com. Thanks for watching.